Hey guys, this is Matt Brunei, and welcome to Movie News Weekly, hosted by FilmBook. Now, before we begin, let's take a look at what we got in this week's news, which includes literally Wakanda Forever, The Liars Actors, Reddick Has Fallen, Teen Titans Go Get Nick, Pitbull Gets Ugly, the demonic Key and Peele, Sony's Night Watching Spike, Ava's New Gods, A Director Is Close, and Infinity pre-sales. So with that said, let's get things started. I guess Wakanda Forever has a whole new meaning here. Even with the new releases, Marvel's Black Panther still remains in the top spot at the box office for the 5th weekend in a row, earning a total of $27 million and even surpassing $600 million on its domestic gross. However, now it has become to the point that its competitors are getting really close to the movie. Tomb Raider, the latest adaptation to the hit video game series, got in second place not too far behind T'Challa as it managed to start off with $23.5 million. There was also I Can Only Imagine, where despite only being in third, it did amazingly for itself, where it made $17 million by only appearing in 1,600 theaters with a $7 million budget. Meanwhile, the other new movie this week, Love, Simon, can only get up to 5th place by getting $11.5 million behind A Wrinkle in Time, where the film got around $16.5 million on its second weekend. Following from behind includes Game Night with about $5.5 million, Peter Rabbit with more than $5 million, and Strangers Prey at Night with less than $5 million. There is nothing more dangerous to a man than having feelings. Ian McKellen and Helen Mirren have signed on to star in the New Line drama The Good Liar, based on the novel of the same name by Nicholas Cage. The movie will be about an aging con artist, played by McKellen, who meets a widow, played by Mirren, and suddenly finds himself caring for her and is conflicted with his own career and his feelings for this new woman. The movie will be directed by Bill Condon and written by Jeffrey Hatcher. This will not be the first time that McKellen, Condon, and Hatcher will be collaborating together on a movie, as they also worked on Mr. Holmes. Also, the director and the actor did do a few movies together, including Gods and Monsters and last year's live-action remake of Disney's Beauty and the Beast. The movie will also be executive produced by Jack Morrissey, Aaron L. Gilbert, and Jason Cloth, whom the last two are from Braun Creative. There is no confirmation of a release date for the feature. He chose to go down with the angel. Lance Reddick has signed on to join the cast of Angel Has Fallen, the third installment of the Olympus Has Fallen film series. He will be joining a cast that includes Gerard Butler, Jada Pinkett Smith, Morgan Freeman, and Piper Perabo. Reddick will be playing the part of Gentry, who is the director of the Secret Service. While not a lot has been said regarding the plot, it is revealed that the movie will be set on Air Force One, where Butler's character would have to come in and save the president. While Reddick has a more prominent career on television, appearing in shows like The Wire, Fringe, and currently Corporate on Comedy Central and Bosch on Amazon, he does appear in the Jack Wick films as Sharon. The last installment in the franchise, London Has Fallen, did manage to come out of the box office alive with $206 million worldwide and a domestic gross of almost $63 million. The movie will be making its premiere this year at the Tribeca Film Festival. After all these years, he's finally getting a second chance. Nicolas Cage has been announced to lend his voice as Superman in the upcoming animated film Teen Titans Go to the Movies, based on the hit Cartoon Network series. The announcement was made at the same time when there would also be cameos by Lil Yachty as Green Lantern and Halsey as Wonder Woman. They will be joining the cast that includes Kristen Bell and Will Arnett, and the original cast of the series, which includes Scott Menville, Carrie Payton, Hayden Walsh, Grace Sipes, and Tara Strong. The big significance with having Cage as Kal-El is that he was originally going to play as Superman for a big budget film that ultimately never happened. During the mid-90s, Warner Bros. Originally wanted to make a film called Superman Lives, which was based on the 1992 comic The Death of Superman, and it would have been directed by Tim Burton with a script by Kevin Smith. However, 3 weeks before filming, the project was ultimately scrapped. Cage will have his moment when the movie will be released on July 27th. After last time when he was a frog, I don't think this is a good idea. STX Entertainment has signed on Pitbull in order to not only voice one of the characters, but also write and perform an original song for the upcoming animated feature, Ugly Dolls, based on the popular pop culture franchise. STX is also planning to have the rapper be a part of several spin-off projects if the movie would become successful enough to become a viable franchise. Adam Fogelson, the chairman of STX, stated, "Pitbull's amazing musical creativity and magnetic personality have captivated millions of adoring fans around the world. We're thrilled to collaborate with him and look forward to showcasing his signature talent as we build the Ugly Dolls franchise." This will not be the first time that Pitbull had to both voice and make a song for an animated feature. Back in 2013, he collaborated with Blue Sky Studios to lend his services on Epic. The film will be directed by Robert Rodriguez, and it will be ready to come out in 2019. The comedic duo is back with the Nightmare Before Christmas guy. Netflix will be financing and distributing a stop-motion animated feature called Wendell Wild, which will reunite Keegan-Michael and Jordan Peele as the stars. The movie will be directed by Henry Selick, the acclaimed director of stop-motion films like The Nightmare Before Christmas, James and the Giant Peach, and Coraline, and he will be writing the project along with Peele and Clay McLean Chapman. Selick and the latter will also make a book based on the film that will be published by Simon & Schuster. The film also hired Argentinian artist Pablo Lobato to be the character designer of the feature. While it's been almost 10 years since his last film with Coraline, Selick is currently working on a TV series with the Rousseau brothers based on the acclaimed video game Little Nightmares. This will be the second stop-motion film that Netflix has ordered. The first was a movie called Bubbles, based on the life of Michael Jackson's pet chimp, which will be directed by Taika Waititi and Mark Gustafson. Okay, seriously, they gotta stop planning more of these because they could be putting all their eggs in one basket again and it could even end up like the Ghostbusters reboot, you know what I mean? Sony Pictures is interested in having Spike Lee to direct one of their upcoming features for their Spider-Man cinematic universe, this time starring Nightwatch. If he accepts, he could be working on the film that was written by the showrunner of Luke Cage, Chio Hodari Coker. Premiered in 1993's Web of Spider-Man number 97, Nightwatch is actually an African-American scientist named Dr. Kevin Trench, who saw a man fully in costume die before his eyes by a bunch of terrorists. But when he unmasked the dead body, it turns out to be him, but older. This is one of the many movies that Sony is planning in order to make their own Spider-Man films without actually using Spider-Man and cash in on the success of current superhero movies. Their lineup so far includes Venom, which is coming out on October 5th, Silver and Black, which will star Silver Saber and Black Cat, and Morbius the Living Vampire. Now that she got her hands on big budget films like A Wrinkle in Time to do some superhero work. Ava Duvernay has signed on with Warner Bros. And DC in order to direct The New Gods, based on the DC comic by Jack Kirby. This will be one of the many steps that Warner boss Tony Emmerich and the new DC Productions president Walter Hamada are taking in order to bring the DC movies into a new direction from the failing DC Extended Universe, which this time will not be connected with. Duvernay will also be working closely with writer Cairo Salem of Chasing Mavericks in order to craft the script. This will be the second time that a female director will be in charge of a DC superhero movie, as the first was Patty Jenkins for Wonder Woman, which became one of the most successful films from last year, and so far the most successful film in the DC Extended Universe. The original comics were created by Kirby in 1971 as part of a trilogy, which includes New Gods, Forever People, and Mr. Miracle. Oh, we're getting close, it's almost official! In an interview with Metro, Danny Boyle said that it would be foolish of him to not take the opportunity to direct the 25th installment of James Bond. Currently, he is working on the script of the film with John Hodge, which will be the determining factor if he will get the job. Boyle stated, "It all depends on that, really. I am working on a Richard Curtis script at the moment. We hope to start shooting that in 6 or 7 weeks. Then Bond would be right at the end of the year. But we are working on them both right now. We've got an idea. John Hodge, the screenwriter, and I have got this idea, and John is writing it at the moment, and it all depends on how it will turn out. It would be foolish of me to give any of it away. While there is no official confirmation if Boyle will be taking the helm on this one, it is confirmed that Daniel Craig is set to return as 007, and it currently has a release date of 2019. With a movie as big as this, what else do you expect? On Fandango, Avengers Infinity War immediately broke the record for the fastest selling superhero movie in a span of 24 hours. The pre-sale tickets were immediately put up at 6 a.m. on Friday to tie in with the release of the movie's second trailer and immediately broke the record within 6 hours. The previous record holders include Batman v Superman: Dawn of Justice and this year's Black Panther. The latter is also currently a real record breaker as the weeks go by. In the 5 weeks that it reigns in theaters, it stands as the second highest grossing superhero movie of all time, and even beating The Dark Knight last week. The only movie that it has yet to beat is 2012's The Avengers, which made a total of $1.5 billion and $623 million of which was earned domestically. There is a chance that Infinity War could break that record, however, as it will cross over with many of the big Marvel movies, including The Avengers, Guardians of the Galaxy, Black Panther, Spider-Man Homecoming, and many more. The entire Marvel team will all come together on April 27th. And that's all I've got for this week. Thank you guys so much for watching, and don't forget to head on down to film-book.com for all the latest movie and TV news, along with their columns on the box office and their theatrical release schedule. Also, you can follow them on whatever social media you'd like. And while you're at it, you can follow me on my YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter if you're more into stuff like animation, Disney, and my weird sense of humor. If you are watching this on YouTube, then hit that like button and come subscribe to us, and also leave a little comment on what you think on the news this week. If you were listening to this on a podcast on iTunes or any other podcast service, then don't forget to rate and review what you just heard. Tune in next time for another round of Movie News Weekly, and until next week, see you later, dudes!